Good evening, everyone. This is Danny Gallivan with Dick Irvin from the Boston Garden. The score, Boston 1, Montreal no score. And this the third game of the Stanley Cup quarterfinal series between these two teams. And the Boston Bruins have dominated the play so far, and they well deserved the one-goal margin they had. Westfall from Orr and Sanderson at 5:15. Gump Worsley has pulled off some scintillating saves in goal for the Montreal Canadiens. And right now they're playing five-a-side. Harper has 54 seconds left. And for the Boston Bruins, Murphy, serving a penalty assessed against Cheevers, has 1 minute and 16 seconds. J.C. Tremblay over to LaRose, barging down on the right wing with Richard. It's over Richard's stick into the corner. Green covering up. Now then Craik off the boards for the Bruins. Ory goes to the corner. A back pass to the other side. Boston's Craik clears it down the ice, and it's J.C. Tremblay back after it. Icing called against the Boston Bruins, and for the first 11 minutes of this period, this place was in an uproar. You could hardly hear yourself. But it has settled down, and the hockey hasn't been quite as aggressive in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Nothing of a dirty nature in the first 10 or 11. It was just good, solid hockey. The referee is Hood. Ego and Pavlich are the linesmen. 5:57 left in the opening period. Richard facing off against Westfall. Canadians every man up. Now here's Richard turning off the boards over to the other side. J.C. Tremblay shooting it, and it was blocked there by Craik. Tremblay back for the Montreal Canadiens. Harper has 10 seconds left in his penalty. Out to center ice. Green handing it off to the other side. It's cleared in by Ory. Craik picking it up on the boards. Back to Ory. Winds up for the shot. It ricochets. Comes in front. Richard has it. Now Harper is back on for Montreal. Canadians have the advantage. Craik hands it off to Westfall. He's over the line. Ballaball blocked the pass. Down with Cournoyer racing in on goal. And Ory lifted his stick, and Ory is going to get a hooking penalty. Don Ory hooking against Cournoyer as Cournoyer was ready to break right in on Cheevers. Okay, Dick.
Thank you, Danny. As we look at Don Ory in the penalty box for Boston right now, and as Danny mentioned, this place has been an uproar. One thing I've learned, if that goal by the Bruins is any indication, when the replays come on after their goals, there's not much that you or I can say because nobody's going to hear us anyway. 14:49, the time of the hooking penalty to Ory. Out of town, the Rangers are leading the Blackhawks 1-0 on a goal by Rod Gilbert from Rattel and Hatfield at 15:54 of the first period.
Now Canadians with the advantage of two players. Murphy will be back in 4 seconds. From the face-off, it's behind the net. Bobby Orr comes up with it. Cleared it in among the spectators, and Murphy, who served a minor penalty assessed against goalie Cheevers, comes out of the penalty box, goes to the Bruins bench, and we have Craik out there with Orr, Dallas Smith, and Westfall. And 1 minute and 55 seconds left in the penalty to Ory. 1-0, the Bruins are leading on a goal by Westfall. And shaping up like a bruising battle. Now it's dicked up. Over the pass is deflected. Finally, Bobby Orr comes up with it, plays it on the board. He's racing after, going down with Westfall. Here's Orr trying to get it in front. And Worsley kicked out a rolling puck to the corner. Cournoyer for Montreal. He's starting out. Rousseau picks it up. He decides to go back to get skating room. Ballaball dicked up. Cournoyer and Rousseau, 4 of them down at center with Duff in full flight. Duff going to the corner, getting set. He sent it right out in front. Rousseau is tied up. Here's Cournoyer faking the shot. To LaPerriere, the shot. They score! Ballaball. John Ballaball tying it up for Montreal. Belleville parked right beside the goal crease as LaPerriere let a low shot go from the point. And you'll see the big fella just tip it in as he was being tied up at the corner of the net. But Belleville, somewhat in the manner that Claude Provo did the other night for the winning goal on Thursday,
managed to get his stick on it, so we've got a tie hockey game. That one a power play goal for the Canadiens.
Here come the Canadiens with Backstrom. Bobby Orr blocks it. Backstrom gets it again. On the boards. In behind is Ferguson getting away from Dallas Smith. Up on the left wing, Esposito to Williams. Going down with Hodge. Hodge has the shot. And he's wide. Here's Dallas Smith. Laying it on the boards. Harper against Esposito. Hodge moves in for Boston, getting set. And the centering pass goes down the ice. 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the first period. The score tied 1-1. Dallas Smith tried to hit Hodge with it. LaPerriere for Montreal misses Backstrom. Dallas Smith going over on the left wing to Esposito. And the puck is cleared back to the Boston line. There's Bobby Orr handing it off to Smith. Smith ahead for Hodge. He missed it. And Ferguson moving in for the Canadiens with Williams after him. Harper has to recover for Montreal. To Ferguson. Bruins trying to tie the Canadiens up, as they have done so effectively so often in this period so far. But the Canadiens have come on strongly offensively in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Now Williams to Bobby Orr. And it's Ferguson out with Provo. Backstrom coming up in the play. Ferguson shoots at the rebound. And Orr is there for Boston. Bobby Orr squeaking up at center. Shoots it in. Provo falls. Into the corner. It's Esposito against Harper. They fight for possession. Back it comes out over the line. And Orr has to wait for 3 of his teammates to get onside. Orr is over the line. He lost it. And just starts up for Montreal and clears it down the ice. Dallas Smith ahead for Busick. Busick working against Harper. It's off the leg. Back to center. Green shooting it in. It's called on the offside. Score tied 1-1. Bellevaux from LaPerriere and Cournoyer at 15:35. The Montreal goal. Westfall from Orr and Sanderson at 5:15. Now Dick Duff, the pass off his stick. He tried to get by Green. Here's McKenzie going in on the right side. It's blocked. Green shoots it in. Stanfield getting set. The pass off the stick. Russo knocks it on the boards. Ori back into Johnny Busick. Now Busick on the boards to Stanfield. His pass is gobbled up by Lemire. There's Green taking a shot. He's wide. Busick getting set. Hands it to McKenzie right in front, out over the line. And a sprawling Don Ori couldn't keep it in. Now Busick for Boston, lost it to Russo. Russo on the right wing, the shot, and Cheevers made a great save on that hard blast by Russo. McKenzie passing it back into his own zone in the corner. And we have 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining in the opening period. The score is tied 1-1. Boston starting up with Stanfield missing it on the left wing. Lemire clears it to the corner. Russo is racing in against Green. And Green comes up with it. Green has been outstanding for Boston in the series so far. Less than a minute remaining. It's McKenzie playing it on the board. Sather, number 14, trying to catch it. And it's Russo for Montreal. He cleared it in toward the corner. And Don Ori takes over for Boston to Sather. Russo doing a great job of forechecking for Montreal. There's an offside.
Paul Henderson of the Toronto Maple Leafs is our guest analyst for tonight's game, and Paul will be along with Ward Cornell during our first intermission to talk about this first period. And also during the first intermission, Dan Kelly will be chatting with Gump Worsley.
The Boston Bruins, according to Coach Sinden, so far in the series have been ultra-conservative, not enough left wing. Busick and Shack, two outstanding left wingers during the season, have been way below form, and Shack hasn't played in this game so far tonight. Score tied 1-1. LaPerriere back quickly for Montreal. Sanderson, number 16. Sather tried to set up LaPerriere for a check. He couldn't get him. Bellevaux cleared it to the line, not out. Orr fired it back in. Now then it's Harper clearing it to Cournoyer. Cournoyer down slowly from center, drills the long shot, the rebound. Bellevaux missed it, so does Gilles Tremblay. There's going to be a penalty here. Sanderson, I think, for tripping. And Sanderson argued the point with the referee, Bruce Hood. And now he skates slowly over the penalty box. 9 seconds remain here in the opening period. So in penalties, Boston has picked up a total of 4 and Montreal 2. Now then, Blake sending out Rousseau, Gilles Tremblay, Cournoyer, Laperriere, and Bellevaux. Bellevaux back on one of the points with Laperriere. Now Gilles Tremblay shot it toward Cheevers. He cleared it. Cournoyer back to Bellevaux. Bellevaux clearing it in front. Orr can't knock it out. Rousseau knocked it down. And the horn goes to end the first period. It was Westfall from Orr and Sanderson at 5:15. Bellevaux from Laperriere and Cournoyer at 15:35. From the Boston Garden, hockey night in Canada.
Tonight marks the first Stanley Cup game here since the 7th of April, 1959.
Score tied 1-1, second period about to get underway, and Sanderson is in the penalty box. He has a minute and 51 seconds remaining in his penalty. Bellevaux, Cournoyer, Duff, Rousseau, and Laperriere for Montreal. Westfall and Craker up front for the Bruins, Orr and Dallas Smith on defense. The puck is shot down into Canadian territory, and Rousseau goes back there to get the Canadian power play organized. Bellevaux takes the pass, streaks out over the line. Cournoyer on one wing, Duff on the other. There's the shot, and it hit Bobby Orr. Craig, he's a great penalty killer, slides it on the wing, and Rousseau goes back behind Gump Worsley. Chicago and New York are tied 1-1 in the second period. Dick Duff getting away from Craig. He's in over the line. Duff trying to get by Orr. Cournoyer back to the point to Laperriere. There's the shot. He's wide. Rousseau on the boards for Bellevaux. Westfall picks it up, gets it to the line. It's out over the line. Here's Craig coming down. Craig getting set over to Westfall. And it hopped over his stick. Westfall gets it out over the line. Duff down with Bellevaux. Duff fakes the shot. Bellevaux clearing it to the other side. Couldn't hold it. And Craig knocked it down the ice. We have 37 seconds remaining in the penalty to Sanderson. Cournoyer having difficulty against Craig, who tipped it back into the corner. Laperriere to Rousseau. Rousseau coming out, and Gilles Tremblay takes it. Bellevaux is trailing. Back to Bellevaux. There's the shot. Cournoyer hit the side of the net. Gilles Tremblay to Cournoyer. Westfall starting out for Boston. He's just ragging the puck to kill off seconds. Back to Bobby Orr. And Canadians are not going to have another chance for a power play rush because now Sanderson is back on. Here's Bobby Orr over the line trying to cut around. He gets it. He rolled it into the crease. And Laperriere for Montreal. Esposito is on with Tommy Williams. Laperriere knocked at the center. Hodge, the other forward. Esposito over the line. Hodge couldn't get the pass behind him. Now it goes. There's a shot right on by Tommy Williams. And the second time tonight, Dick, Gump Worsley has robbed Tommy Williams. Score tied 1-1. Esposito goes to the corner. Williams gets it, tries to roll it in front. Blocked by J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay ahead for Provo. Stopped by Ory. Called on the offside.
That Chicago goal in New York, Bobby Hull from Makita and Stapleton at 10-12 of the second period ties the game 1-1.
The ice dimension's a little smaller here than at the Forum in Montreal. 191 by 83 here, 200 by 85 in Montreal. Puck is shot down to Cheevers. Green is back after it. Off the boards for Williams. Williams getting away from Provo. He rolled it. Gilles Tremblay to Cournoyer. Westfall starting out for Boston. He's just ragging the puck to kill off seconds. Back to Bobby Orr. And Canadiens are not going to have another chance for a power play rush because now Sanderson is back on. Here's Bobby Orr over the line trying to cut around. He gets it. He rolled it into the crease. And LaPerriere for Montreal. Esposito is on with Tommy Williams. LaPerriere knocked it to center. Hodge, the other forward. Esposito over the line. Hodge couldn't get the pass behind him. Now it goes. There's a shot right on by Tommy Williams. And the second time tonight, Dick, Gump Worsley has robbed Tommy Williams.
It happened in the first period on almost the exact same play. As Williams, right out in front, lets it go, and the Gumper got the left arm and hand on that one, and he managed to hang on. Canadiens outshot the Bruins in the first period, 13-10.
Score tied, 1-1. Esposito goes to the corner. Williams gets it, tries to roll it in front, blocked by J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay ahead for Provo. Stopped by Ory. Called on the offside.
That Chicago goal in New York, Bobby Hull from Makita and Stapleton at 10-12 of the second period ties the game 1-1.
The ice dimension's a little smaller here than at the Forum in Montreal. 191 by 83 here, 200 by 85 in Montreal. Puck is shot down to Cheevers. Green is back after it. Off the boards for Williams. Williams getting away from Provo. He rolled it ahead to center. Ferguson back with Harris. Harris to Provo. Stopped by Hodge. Hodge is checked by Backstrom. Out over the line it comes. Esposito shooting it in. Worsley handing it off to Ferguson. Williams is giving him some trouble. Now here's Esposito right out in front of Williams. Williams slides it. Worsley is down. A bouncing puck in front of the net. And Worsley flat on the ice. Was on top of the puck.
And what a chance for the Bruins as Tremblay overskated the puck in behind the net. Williams and Esposito out in front, and Worsley, as Danny mentioned, rolling on top of the puck. Williams is taking the place of Eddie Shack on the line with Esposito and Ken Hodge. We haven't seen Shack make an appearance so far here this evening.
It goes off Richard, stick over the glass from the faceoff. Westfall from Orr and Sanderson at 5:15 in the opening period. Belleville from Cournoyer and LaPerriere at 15:35. LaPerriere to Richard. Stopped at the Boston line by Smith. Orr is turning. Orr a pass to Busick off his stick, and Harper cleared it over the glass. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Boston Garden.
Uniflow and Esso Extra motor oils are warranty approved. That's something extra from Esso.
LaPerriere knocking it to center. Orr to McKenzie. Back to Orr. Here's McKenzie into center ice. The pass Stanfield. Busick over on the other side. McKenzie racing in against LaPerriere. It's in behind Worsley. Busick getting it. McKenzie digging it out from behind the net. He tries to center it. Richard is belted by McKenzie. Oh, Richard was belted to the ice by McKenzie. There's LaPerriere shooting it in. It's called on the offside. You know, the Garden is festooned with banners saluting many of the Boston players. Max the Digger, Happiness is Teddy Green, Sockatoon Bruins, and 14 KT Aura. But they have one here for a visiting player tonight, Dick. It says, "Down with Dirty Fergie." Now it's McKenzie shooting it in off the boards. And this is an enthusiastic crowd. Busick intercepting a pass. Russo starts away with Dickduff. Russo's shot right on off Orr's leg. And it's Dallas Smith. To the other side to McKenzie. McKenzie to Busick. Busick down on the wing. He's checked by Harris. McKenzie couldn't get by Harris. Orr to Stanfield. Now Dallas Smith comes up with it. rolls it into Montreal territory. We've played 4 minutes and 28 seconds in the second period. Score tied, 1-1. Lemaire over the line. Bobby Orr went after him. And it's Dallas Smith in behind Cheevers. Smith jammed into the boards by Duff. Here's Orr. Off the boards for McKenzie. Big Ted Harris romped in to stop it. Orr to Dallas Smith. Out it goes to Stanfield. He plays it on an open wing. And it's J.C. Tremblay back for the Montreal Canadiens. Boston making changes on the fly. Sather comes out along with Sanderson. Here's Sanderson keeping it in. He rolls it in, takes the shot. Whereas they kick it out, it's into the crease. And J.C. Tremblay comes up with it. And the Bruins have come close on many occasions here in the second period from close in. Westfall sidesteps Lemaire, finally lost his balance, and J.C. Tremblay hands it off to Harris. Russo for Montreal with Lemaire. Lemaire couldn't get it. Westfall for Sather, off his stick. J.C. Tremblay ahead for Gilles Tremblay to Russo. Lemaire up ahead. Lemaire tried to get that lead pass, but Orr takes over for Boston, and finally they call it on the offside. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Boston Garden.
Esso Uniflow, the super premium all-season motor oil. Protects your car and your new car warranty. It's warranty approved from Esso.
And some of the fans, Dick, behind us, are beginning to start the chant, "We want Shaq." Shaq has not been on the ice so far tonight for Boston. Westfall down on the right wing. LaPerriere, Gilles Tremblay turning with Beliveau, has it. Beliveau ripped that shot from well out. Here's Gilles Tremblay to the other side. Here's Harper. Harper slapping it. It's loose in front. Beliveau takes a shot. And it's behind the net to Green. Green ahead to Westfall with Sanderson. Back to Westfall, and some fine back-checking by Gilles Tremblay. Don Orey to Green. Green getting away from Gilles Tremblay, ahead to Sather. Sather is in on the line, rolled it ahead. Cournoyer is back. Gilles Tremblay from the left wing, coming out with Beliveau. Cournoyer coming up on the play. Cournoyer cutting in, and he hit the side of the net. And there's going to be a penalty here. Going to be Sanderson. And it'll likely be slashing. We have played 6 minutes and 50 seconds in the second period. The score is tied 1-1. Cournoyer back to Russo. Over on the other side to J.C. Tremblay. There's the shot kicked out beautifully by Cheevers. Russo over for J.C. Tremblay. Green trying to catch up with it. Beliveau blocked it. Beliveau having difficulty finding it. Tried to set up Cournoyer. Cournoyer. His pass is deflected by Westfall. And Canadiens forced back into their own zone. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the penalty. Dick Duff lost it. Westfall playing it back for Green. It's down the ice, and Orey moves back. Up to the point. Russo couldn't hold it in, and down the ice it goes. It's still Chicago 1, New York Rangers 1 in the second period. And it's 1-1 here. Russo, a pass for Duff off his skate. Cleared it to the other side. And Boston doing a fine job again of killing off the penalty. Now Canadiens start up with Provo coming in on that right wing. Takes a shot. He shoots. He scores! Provo! A long shot. A long shot and a quick shot as Provo picks up the puck just over the red line. And as he stepped inside that Boston blue line, he just let it go, and it caught Cheevers napping as it went in past the Boston goaltender on the stick side. So the Canadiens take a 2-1 lead. And that's the second power play goal. trail 2-1. Williams, he's been one of their best players out there tonight. Gets it to Esposito. Ferguson breaks it up, and it's offside. The time of that goal, 7:59. Provo was J.C. Tremblay and Duff assisting. Canadiens leading in the series 2-0, having won in Montreal 2-1 and 5-3. And everybody in Boston, fans, players, executives, they all realize that this is a must game for the Boston Bruins. So they line up after the offside at the Boston blue line. 8 minutes and 25 seconds have been played in this period. Dallas Smith over to Orr. Orr back to Smith. Out it goes to Esposito. He gets it ahead. Provo stops it. Comes back with Backstrom, who takes it. Ferguson going in. Backstrom shoots. He scores! Dallas Smith screening Cheevers.
Ralph Backstrom with John Ferguson coming down on the right wing. He used Dallas Smith as a screen. And as Smith went down to block the shot, Backstrom just slapped a low one into the bottom left-hand corner. And Cheevers was completely screened on the play and didn't make a move. And so here, very dramatically, the Canadiens, with Backstrom's goal, go ahead now 3-1.
And so the Canadiens, who were almost run out of the rink in the first 10 minutes and only were scored upon once because of the great work of Gump Worsley, now have a 3-1 lead. Orr, a pass for McKenzie, cleared it ahead. Ted Harris knocked it out to center. Here's Orr down on the line. He's upended. There's going to be a penalty here to Ted Harris. Backstrom from Provo at 8:41, just 42 seconds after Provo's goal. So the Bruins now will have the opportunity to put on the power.
And the play was Johnny McKenzie.
From the face-off, it goes to the corner. Busick back to Stanfield. He put it right on Provo's stick. And Provo shoots it down the ice. And Provo, as the players call him Joe, he's known as Joe, having another great night. Here's Esposito ahead on the left wing to Stanfield. He hits the line, shoots it in. Racing in there is McKenzie. McKenzie on the boards. Esposito back to Bobby Orr. There's the shot. Oh, it bounces right in front. Worsley is down. Another shot. And Busick is tied up. And the Bruins did everything to put it in there. Worsley hasn't got his stick. Now he reaches down to get it. Bobby Orr over to Stanfield. In it goes to Busick right in front. And Esposito couldn't get it, and Gilles Tremblay shoots it down the ice. Now we have 10 minutes left in the second period and 1 minute remaining in the penalty to Ted Harris. Esposito coming out with McKenzie, Stanfield, and Busick. McKenzie has it. He flips it in there. Worsley cleared it onto Stanfield's stick. Here's Esposito trying to get it. Back it goes to Bobby Orr. Orr shooting it in, and J.C. Tremblay promptly knocked it to center. Orr to McKenzie. Montreal 3, Boston 1 in the second period. McKenzie with Stanfield. Back to McKenzie over to Busick. Busick going in. It's off the board. Here's McKenzie trying to center it. Coming up on the board, the Perrier. Couldn't keep it in against Orr. Here's McKenzie. Right out. It goes to Stanfield. There's the shot. And he ripped that one off the leg of J.C. Tremblay. Stanfield almost slammed on it. J.C. Tremblay was Gilles Tremblay. One man back. J.C. going in, and it was blocked by Bobby Orr. Tremblay clearing it out. Sather is on the ice. Now Ted Harris comes back on. Stanfield turning in his own line. Coming out for the Bruins with Westfall, who has it on the right wing. He's over the line. Westfall getting in a backhand shot. He was wide. A nice move by Westfall. Ferguson from Montreal cleared it out over the line to center. Green shooting it in. And again, a wave of Bruins moves in there. Here's Green moving to the right wing boards. There's a shot. Oh, it's a deflection Here's say they're trying to center it. Ferguson getting it up on the wing to Backstrom. He couldn't catch up with it. Ori to Green. Green ahead for Westfall, going near the corner. He centers it, and J.C. Tremblay cleared it away. Westfall in behind the net. Trying to center it. He's bumping there with Backstrom. Sather and J.C. Tremblay and Ferguson move in. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Boston Garden. And it's Green. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the middle period. Green, a pass to Dallas Smith. Over off the boards for Hodge. Hodge shooting it in toward the corner. Provo back there for Montreal. Provo ahead to J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay takes his time. The pass is stopped by Hodge. Picked up by Esposito from center. He shoots it in. Worsley, who has been very sharp, particularly in the early stages, clearing it. Now Provo. Coming out for Montreal with Ferguson and Backstrom across the line. A drop pass to Backstrom, back to Provo. He tries to cut it back. Ferguson scores! Ferguson from Provo. And Montreal takes a 4-1 lead.
And now in slow motion, you'll see a fine passing play for the Canadiens as Backstrom to Provo as they sweep down the right side. And John Ferguson coming in along the center line, as it were, in front of that goal crease, and he just wrapped home the pass out from the side of the net. And it's 4-1 now for Montreal. 1:37 left to play in the second period.
At 18:23, Ferguson from Provo and Backstrom. Montreal 4, Boston 1. Now then, Green. Waiting for Esposito. Esposito picks it up. Esposito ahead for Hodge. He missed it. LaPerriere to Beliveau. Beliveau over on the right side for Provo. Takes the long shot. And now some of the fans here beginning to get on Cheevers. But he certainly didn't have a chance on that last goal. Ferguson was set up beautifully. Here's Hodge down on the right wing. He shoots it off the glass, and it stays up on the dasher. 1 minute remaining. There's a shot at Gump Worsley. Gump doesn't like flying. We had a rather bumpy flight into Boston last evening. At one stage, the plane hit a rather severe pocket of turbulence. And Gump was upset, his most anxious moment of the series. Then some of the players said, "Don't worry, Gump. It's only 254 miles as the crow flies." He said, "I'm not worrying about how that crow flies. I'm worrying how about this plane fly." Well, it hasn't affected him. He has been brilliant tonight. Puck back in Boston territory. 43 seconds left. Now Beliveau knocked down a clearing pass. It comes in front. And out it goes Williams from Ori. Williams is down with Hodge. Williams streaking in on that left wing. Trying to center it. Ridden in on the boards. Here's Esposito to the other side. Back it goes to Green. Green getting set for the shot. Working his way in. And he tried to set up Esposito. Here's Esposito missing on the attempted pass in front. Esposito gets it again. Tries to get in front. Rolled it right in front. And it went over Hodge's stick. There's another shot by Green. He's wide. Don Ori takes a shot. Williams winds up. They score!
Well, the Bruins kept it in, and Tommy Williams, who has played a great game, wraps it home from directly in front of Worsley as he's falling to the ice in the process. And for the Bruins, a very important goal with just 5 seconds left to go here in the second period. And that makes the count now 4-2 for Montreal.
And there's justice, I would say, Dick, because Williams has been the outstanding man for Boston, in our opinion. And now the period is over. And Montreal 4, Boston 2 at the end of 2 periods. That last scoring play for Boston at 1955. Williams from Ori and Green.
With Danny Gallivan at the Boston Gardens, Canadiens leading 4-2 as we await the start of the third period. There's Stowe Blake, who this morning when he came to the Garden to see some of his extra players working out, was refused admission at first by a guard. He said, "You can't come in here." And Toe said, "I'm Toe Blake." And he said, "No, you're not." And one of the most famous coaches in hockey had to produce his identification to get into the ring. In the third period in New York, the Rangers are now leading Chicago 2-1. The second New York goal, Donnie Marshall from Goyette and Nevin at 12:40.
And talking about Donnie Marshall, it was he who scored the last overtime goal here at the Boston Garden, March the 29th, 1955. He scored as the Canadiens defeated the Bruins 4-3. And now let's see if that late second period goal by Williams will spark the Boston team, 4-2. Scoring for Montreal, Beliveau, Provo, Backstrom, and Ferguson, Westfall, and Williams for Boston. That offside took 6 seconds. Beliveau, Gilles Tremblay, and Cournoyer from the face-off. It goes down the ice. And for Boston, we have Sather, Westfall, and Sanderson. Back into Bruin territory, chasing after it is Dallas Smith. On defense with Smith is Bobby Orr. Harper and LaPerriere on the blue line for the Canadiens. Now Cournoyer gets it. He goes around the net right over to Gilles Tremblay, and he missed it. Boston coming away with Westfall. Over to Sather. He's across the line. He dropped it back, and Beliveau is there for Montreal. He stumbles in on the line, goes to the corner. Here's Beliveau centering it in front, and Dallas Smith ahead for Westfall. Westfall having trouble against Gilles Tremblay. Clearing it in over the line, and Harper shoots it down to the right of Cheevers, then through the crease. And Bobby Orr leading a four-man Boston attack on the right side to Westfall. Westfall goes to the corner, takes the shot. It's over the top of the net, and Harper catches up with it. Harper to Gilles Tremblay. Beliveau coming up. Gilles Tremblay shoots a hot one. Cheevers handing it off to Dallas Smith. Dallas Smith ahead to Eddie Westfall. Westfall shooting it ahead, and he hits Sather. Now then Orr back at the Boston line. Over to Dallas Smith. Smith rolled it across the line, and LaPerriere moves in to take over for Montreal to Ferguson. He couldn't trap it. Hodge back for Green. It's into the Boston zone, and Canadiens and Bruins are changing on the move. There's Hodge. Over for Williams. Williams turning. His pass is partially blocked by Ferguson. Hodge ahead to Esposito. Over the line to Tommy Williams. Going in and goal! And Worsley, another hair-raising save. And Worsley has been just great tonight for Montreal. He robbed Williams. That's the third time he's robbed him, and Williams has beaten him once. Now is J.C. Tremblay with Ralph Backstrom. Backstrom away from Hodge with Provo and Ferguson in on the Boston line. It's left for Provo. He couldn't get it. Ted Harris moves in. Hodge knocks it ahead for Esposito. He shoves it in over the Montreal line. Provo is in there after it. J.C. Tremblay couldn't come up with it. Williams back to Don Orey. Off the board for Hodge. He centered it, and Provo starts away. Backstrom ahead on the right side. Back to Provo to Backstrom. He's cutting in front. He slid into Cheevers and lost the puck. Bruins clearing it down the ice. They'll be called for icing. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Boston Garden.
All across Canada, the big ale in the big land is Molson Export Ale.
Two minutes and 56 seconds have elapsed in this, the third period. Montreal 4, Boston 2. Here's Orr weaving his way out, plays it to McKenzie. McKenzie shoots it across the Montreal line. LaPerriere rolled it ahead. Dallas Smith for Busick. He missed it. Harper shoots it down the ice. It'll be icing again. Bobby Orr touches it. Los Angeles 3, Minnesota 3. Getting set for the third period in Minnesota. Boston with the defensive Orr and Dallas Smith in over the Montreal blue line. It goes back to the point. Dallas Smith failed to hold it in. He put it on Lemaire's stick. Lemaire over the line. The shot blocked by Dallas Smith, and it's cleared to center. Here's Harper shooting it back into the Boston zone. Smith is back after it. Lining up with Stanfield, who takes the left wing pass ahead for Busick. Busick going to center over on the right wing to McKenzie. There's the shot. On the right wing boards, Harper ahead for Lemaire. Dick Duff is coming up on the play. Lemaire's over the line. Oh, a sizzling shot wide. And everybody around the NHL talking about Lemaire's shot. There he is again. His pass gobbled up by Dallas Smith, coming up with McKenzie, who has it. McKenzie takes a long shot, and Worsley kicked it to the corner. Here's Busick back to the point to Dallas Smith. There's the shot. LaPerriere knocked it down. Russo starting out with Lemaire and Duff over the Boston line, called on the offside.
In the state of Massachusetts, you don't always have to have numbers on the license plate of your car. You can get your name on it and so on with special privilege and acknowledgement from the government. And Charles McCahey, the president of the Bruins, has a license plate that reads NHL.
4 minutes and 18 seconds have been played in the third period. Eddie Shack comes on to play with Sanderson and Westfall. Beliveau, Gilles Tremblay, and Cournoyer. For Montreal Canadiens, Green sidesteps Beliveau, then he falls. Cournoyer picked it up, tried to set up Beliveau. And Ori recovered. Now to the other side, J.C. Tremblay gets away from Shack, out to Beliveau, a backhand shot for Cournoyer, and he couldn't grab it. Now it's Westfall. Away from Beliveau, goes to center over on the left wing to Eddie Shack. The shot is blocked by J.C. Tremblay. Here it is at the point. Green winds up. Oh! Hit the goalpost to the crossbar.
A terrific rising shot by Teddy Green, and now the Canadiens are arguing that the faceoff has to go outside the blue line, and that's what the discussion is. And Danny, it just seemed to catch the join there. The post and the crossbar, and another tough break for the Bruins as Green really let that one go. So you can look at that one here in this period, plus the break that Tommy Williams had in on Worsley. And it's still 4-2 Canadiens, but Boston have had their chances here in the third.
Cournoyer chasing after Don Ori. Here's Beliveau picking up a loose puck. He overskates it, gets it again, centers it in front. Don Ori finally cleared it against Cournoyer. Green turning, in front it comes. Boston starting out, Ori to Shack, down with Sanderson. There's the shot. Off the boards, Worsley played it on the glass. J.C. Tremblay to the other side. Tremblay for Gilles Tremblay. Sanderson going after him. Here's Beliveau. Can't get it out. Green working his way in. Green still has it. Slides it to the corner to Shack. A centering pass, and it goes off the stick to Gilles Tremblay. Tremblay clearing it off Belivau's stick, and it's Ori back for Boston. He was away ahead on that pass for Shack, and it's icing called against Boston. So the Canadiens leading 4-2, and their objective to make it 3 in a row. And Coach Toe Blake in his 13th coaching season. And Dick, that equals the number of years, 13, that he was in the National Hockey League as a player, briefly with the Maroons and then with the Canadiens. In the face-off, LaPerriere winds up the shot, and that hit the post, at least went off the post. Now it's Hodge back, takes the long shot. Worsley deflecting it, Esposito roaming in there. On the boards. Backstrom comes away from the boards. He's down with Ferguson to the Boston line. Back to Ferguson, the shot, and it's blocked by Dallas Smith. Provo takes over at center, feeds it back in on the left wing where Orr takes over for the Bruins. Orr waiting for Esposito. Esposito out with Williams and Hodge. Back it goes to Orr. Orr from center turns. The pass goes to Dallas Smith. He's in on the line to Williams, but Esposito is in there offside. Hodge backhanding it to the corner. Esposito chasing LaPerriere. The rangy Canadian defenseman out in front to Hodge. There's a backhand shot, and Worsley sprawled on that backhander. Esposito cleared it to an open point. Provo is coming up. Backstrom is with him. Boston's Dallas Smith on the right side for Hodge. He hit the Perrier with it. Hodge to Bobby Orr. Here's Orr. In on the line to Williams. Williams going in. Worsley is out. And Worsley knocked it away. Williams trying to catch up with it. The Perrier out to Ferguson. Down with Lemaire and Provo over the line. A pass to Lemaire. There's the shot. And he's wide with it. Ferguson working against the side of the net. Or up on the right wing with that pass and LaPerriere to Harper. Provo scooping it in, and Lemaire was still stranded in Boston territory. We've played 7 minutes and 28 seconds. The New York Rangers have won their second game from Chicago, 2-1. There's an offside against Boston. So the Rangers move on to Chicago now for the third and fourth games with a 2-0 lead in games. In the third period, Los Angeles and Minnesota tied 3-3. 4-2 here for Montreal in the third. Green off Stanfield's skate. Harris tried to set up Lemaire. Here's Green going to the line. He's stopped by Harris. Russo cleared it out, and Lemaire takes the long shot into Cheevers. There's Duff, a pass for Russo. Green comes up with it. He's up with Busick and McKenzie and Stanfield. Green over the line. Couldn't get the pass to McKenzie. Dick Duff wheeling away on the left side. Duff fakes the shot. He's over the line. Cutting from the corner, getting set to pass it right out to Lemaire. Shot, and Cheevers blocked that hard drive. There it goes to Lemaire again. He gets the rebound off Orr. He takes the shot, and he hits Green. Dick Duff shoots. He scores. Duff. The Canadiens go ahead 5-2 after putting the pressure on the Lemaire-Duff-Russo line. And Dick Duff, who scored what proved to be the winner the other night, standing right out in front, his favorite position, and he finally beats Cheevers with a low shot that caroms into the center of the net. Duff's second playoff goal. And as I mentioned, he was the most accurate shooter in the Canadiens this past season with a 22.6% average. 8:23. Time of the goal. Duff getting it. Montreal 5, Boston 2. Harper from the corner playing it up on the boards. Cournoyer couldn't get it, and Bobby Orr back for the Bruins. Orr to Dallas Smith. Gil Tremblay and Belleville forechecking. Now it goes to Westfall ahead for Eddie Shack. He's racing into the corner against Harper. Now Shack fails to come up with it. Cournoyer played it to the other side. Here's Westfall putting it on Belleville's stick. Belleville, stick handling neatly. Cleared at the center, and Dallas Smith has it. Smith is upended at center. It's recovered by Bobby Orr over for Westfall. It's into the corner. Westfall going after it, trying to center it. Gil Tremblay blocked it. Westfall again, getting it back to the line. Here's Dallas Smith, a backhand shot. Westfall chases it to the other side, trying to get away from Harper. Eddie Shack moving in. Shack is around the net, trying to get it in front of Gil Tremblay. Bounced it back into the corner to LaPerriere. LaPerriere ahead for Belleville, or for the Bruins. Fakes the shot, then flipped one high off the boards. Harper against Sanderson. And we're going to have a whistle. Harris handing it off to J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay clearing it ahead. Down the ice it goes, or back for it. Paul Henderson will be along at the end of the game with the three-star selection. Esposito dropping it back to Bobby Orr. He swings in on that right wing along the boards. Here's Orr getting it out to Esposito. The shot right on, and Worsley out of his net. Cleared it to Ferguson, and he flipped it into the center ice area. Worsley has to be one of the outstanding men on the ice. 4 minutes remaining in the third period. Worsley came up with some great saves when, had he been less brilliant, the Bruins would have been in the game and at times ahead, particularly in the first period. Esposito to Hodge. The shot is wide. Back near the point, it goes to Dallas Smith. He centers it. Esposito couldn't hold it, and Provo takes over. Here's Bobby Orr on the boards, clearing it back in, and Ted Harris. With Tommy Williams after him to Provo, off the glass, down the ice it goes. Orr back for it. Icing again.
You're mentioning the Gumper. This is only the second time this season he has started a game here in Boston. And the first time, the only other full game he played, was on the night of December 13th when Canadiens won it 6-2. And that was the night Jean Beliveau made his coaching debut, handling the team for the last 2 periods after Blake was ejected from the game.
3:20 remaining. In the face-off, a backhand shot wide. There's Ronnie Murphy on the boards, missing it against Lemaire. Russo clearing it ahead. McKenzie going back after it. To the other side to Murphy. Murphy has a birthday coming up tomorrow, April the 10th. Now at center ice, Russo passes it to Duff. 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining. The long shot, and Cheevers hands it off to Murphy. And this place, which was so noisy in the first 10 minutes, you could hardly make out any announcement over the PA system. Very, very quiet now. Russo knocks it on the glass to Lemaire. Lemaire catching up with it. Circling around. And Russo finally has it. Ori can't do anything against him. Now Russo to Duff. Canadiens just playing out the clock. LaPerriere over to Harper. Harper a pass for Russo off his stick, and it's Green back after it. Green to Ori. Stanfield. McKenzie to Green. And the Bruins just can't get that attack organized against the skating of the Canadiens. And the checking. Now it's Ori from the point. And there's going to be a penalty here. McKenzie, I think, for elbowing. And you know, Dick, there's a lot of talk in the papers about the Bruins being very, very rough in this game tonight, but although they played it ruggedly early in the game, they haven't been tossing their bodies around.
Well, this game has followed the pattern of the first 2 in Montreal. This is the first penalty of this period, and as a matter of fact, in the series, it's the first penalty called in the 3rd period, because after a couple of riotous starts, especially in the opener in Montreal, things leveled off in the final 20 minutes on each occasion.
McKenzie off for elbowing. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Is Gilles Tremblay, Cournoyer, Beliveau, Harris, and J.C. Tremblay for the Canadiens. Montreal leading 5-2. Gilles Tremblay coming in. He shoots it wide. Cheevers watching Beliveau. It's cleared. Cournoyer couldn't keep it in. Craik put it on Gilles Tremblay's stick. There's the shot off. Dallas Smith. Beliveau is belted by Dallas Smith. And we have a minute and a half remaining. Craik to the other side to Doak. Doak shoots it down the ice. And J.C. Tremblay moves back after it. That final score once again in New York. New York 2, Chicago 1. And it's 4-3 in the 3rd period for Minnesota over Los Angeles. Here's Cournoyer down with Beliveau. Beliveau couldn't take it in with him. And finally it's called on the offside.
1 minute to play in the 3rd period. 1 minute.
Less than a minute now remaining in the 3rd period. 55 seconds to be exact. Shot down the ice by the Canadiens. And they'll be called for icing, and this game has fallen very, very flat. 51 seconds remaining in the penalty to McKenzie, and unless Canadians score before the end of the game, McKenzie will wind up proceedings in the penalty box. Skippy Craik, number 21, against Beliveau. It goes to Ted Harris. Sather watches him. It's left for Cournoyer. Cournoyer misses it. Here's Craik taking a shot, and he hit Ted Harris. Bellevaux at the line with Gilles Tremblay and Cournoyer down to the Boston line. Bellevaux fakes the shot, fires it wide. Gilles Tremblay back to Cournoyer, to J.C. Tremblay. It's out over the line. 20 seconds left. J.C. Tremblay chased back by Crate. Tremblay is hit on the right hand by Crate. Now Tremblay zigging and zagging. 8 seconds left. He's going to try to kill off the clock. Finally, he plays it to the other side of Cournoyer. There's Gilles Tremblay. The game is over. And the Montreal Canadiens take a stranglehold on this series, winning this one tonight by a score of 5-2, and they now lead in the series 3 games.